Tattooed Chef stock analysis. What is going on, guys? That is the stock we are going to be analyzing in this video today. I was a little hesitant to make this video, but I finally just said, you know what, screw it. I did my own research, I did my own due diligence, I ran my own numbers, I came up with everything I needed to come up with. I did it the right way. I like this stock, I bought this stock, I own this stock, okay? And I mainly, the past couple weeks, I was looking for a stock that I could get into in the food industry because I really wanted to add another one. And then the idea of adding another veganism stock came to my mind because, well, that's obviously a growing industry and it's one that's really not going to go away anytime soon. So I bought Tattooed Chef, I own Tattooed Chef. I'm going to give you a lot of things I like about the company. I'm going to go over some of the risks I see with the company, and I'm just going to hopefully help you guys make an informed investment decision after you do your own research and own due diligence, of course. Hopefully you guys get some value out of this. If you do, please drop a like on the video. That would really help me out and that means a lot to me. Also, if you haven't yet, this is the first video you're seeing, welcome to the channel. Subscribe down below and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Anyway, Tattooed Chef, the stock is around $24 at the time you film this. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to finish out when you guys are seeing this. About a $2 million market cap in this company, actually under $2 billion. I think this is one of the more smaller market cap sizes I own. As you guys know, I really don't buy too many smaller cap stocks. I mainly just stick to value plays and proven companies and kind of try to get them when they're undervalued. And that's a strategy that works for me. It's a strategy I like very much. And that's the strategy I really just kind of stick to. But this one was very appealing to me for a lot of reasons. And you guys might be a little confused at me talking about another plant-based food company. You might be saying, oh, did you sell out of Beyond Meat? Like, what's going on with Beyond Meat? Are you not bullish on Beyond Meat? Is there some news that came out that you're not sure of? You guys, believe me, I'm still very, very bullish on Beyond Meat, and I actually have a desire to add more Beyond Meat if the price is right. Obviously, right now, it has run a little bit. I am up pretty good size on that position, so I don't really have a desire to buy any more Beyond Meat at this particular time. If it were to go down to those levels around like maybe 120 or below 120 that we saw a few weeks ago, a month ago, I'm not exactly sure when it was, but it was very recently, then I definitely have a desire to add more Beyond Meat. But as of right now, I really don't have a desire to have any more Beyond Meat. I have a very good sized position built in Beyond Meat, and I'm just gonna let that run for right now. I really have no desire to do anything with it. It's just a hole for me right now personally. But Beyond Meat focuses more so on quote unquote replacement meats, I guess you could say. While Tattooed Chef, on the other hand, obviously Beyond Meat is competition for Tattooed Chef, but Tattooed Chef more so is indirect competition, or Beyond Meat is more indirect competition to Tattooed Chef rather, just from being in the plant-based industry. Because right now, more specifically, Tattooed Chef is focusing on the frozen food category as opposed to the meat replacement sector. Like Beyond Meat will sell products like plant-based burgers, sausage, while Tattooed Chef sells products like cauliflower crust pizza, cauliflower mac and cheese bowls. Then they also sell products on top of that like desserts, such as like the cold brew dark chocolate smoothie bowls. So as you can see from that little tidbit I spoke about, obviously they are competitors because they are both in the plant-based food industry, but they're more so in direct competition right now because they have very different products. I know a lot of people like to talk about the toss-up between Impossible and Beyond Meat. I see more risk, and obviously I cannot invest in Impossible because Impossible is not a public company, but I see more risk, if Impossible was a public company, of buying Impossible as opposed to buying Tattooed Chef. Let's put it that way, just to put things into perspective. Now keep in mind, this company is in the early stages here, so there is some risk that comes with this company, and we are absolutely going to talk more in depth about that in a few minutes, but let's just talk about a little bit of the overview of this company first before we really get into that. This company is currently in around 4,300 stores. They're targeting to get into 10,000 in 2021. They are already in a lot of the big dogs like Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, just to name a few. They already have 23,000 points of distribution. They want to get that number up to 65,000 in 2021. They have grown revenues from 47 million in 2018 to a projected 222 million in fiscal year 2021. I personally would not be surprised if those numbers beat, but that's just my personal opinion. As I kind of touched upon a little bit earlier, they do have a ton of products. They've innovated from 2 SKUs back in 2017 to 9 SKUs in 2018 to 21 in 2019 to 38 in 2020 to a projected 62 SKUs in 2021. Now, to really put into perspective how big this company could potentially become, the frozen food market is projected to grow to $366.3 billion by 2026. In addition to that, to put things even more into perspective, as of their last earnings, they announced they had done 108.9 million in revenue year to date, which is up 87% year over year. Gross profits were also up 70% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA up 126% year over year. Now, some of you might be looking at this picture that I have on the screen right now, and there's definitely some Karen out there that's saying, well, Josh, the gross margins declined year over year from 17% to 15.4%. Yeah, that's because they just launched their first promotional campaign. Say what? Say what? They just launched their first promotional campaign. They've done all of this without any marketing. Absolutely none. They did have plans to roll out marketing campaigns in 2020, but those got pushed back, mainly because of complications that came with the Rona. They did say they expect to roll out marketing campaigns in 2021, and they do expect to see significant benefits from them. I personally would agree with that, because obviously if your marketing is hurting you, then that is a problem with your business model, and that's something that needs to be addressed at the end of the day, guys, okay? But anyway, back to the gross margins here. They are projected to decline. They're forecasting gross margins between 20 and 25% in 2021, 25 and 30% in 2022, 30 and 35% in 2023, and by 2026, over 35% margins. And on top of that, their branded sales also increased year over year, 645% as of their most previous earnings. And here's something I really want to note about this company. This is very important. So before you really buy into a company, it's very important to look over the management team, look into the CEO, see if their experience, what their experience is. I personally like to see a very proven CEO and a proven management team, and that's exactly what we have here. The CEO, Stan Galletti, over 35 years in the food industry. He's worked for and he's helped build several different companies in this industry, and he's also has a lot of connections in this industry, which is very important to keep in mind for growing this brand. I really like how he keeps a lot of those connections around. Very smart. Their creative director is his daughter, Sarah Galletti, which basically means she's been breathing the food industry since she's been born. The CFO, Charlie Cargile, over 30 years experience with financial operations. The CEO, Stephanie Dickerman, over 12 years experience in the food industry, and their chief growth officer, Matthew Williams, over 25 years experience in sales leadership. So this is a very experienced management team. I really like to see that, and that's very important for a company like this. So now that we kind of talked about the company in a little bit of detail, I didn't go too much into detail because I really don't feel the need to, because obviously we're kind of going over my opinions on this and things I like and dislike, and obviously if you really want a more informed opinion, you're gonna need to find that out for yourself. You're gonna need to research the company on your own. But anyway, starting off with some of the things I really like about this company. The industry itself, it's a massive industry with a massive TAM opportunity, and obviously it's very possible that Beyond Meat could I see a scenario where Beyond Meat expands into the products like these, into the frozen foods? Absolutely. Ethan Brown's a game-changing CEO. I can 110% see one day Beyond Meat expanding outside of the market they're currently exploring. But the thing is, as we talked about, this market share is so big, there's room for multiple players. I truly, truly believe that. I believe you can see great success from both Beyond Meat and from Tattooed Chef. I really, really believe that that's extremely possible. On top of that, millennials. So millennials are really driving plant-based meats. They are. They're actually the main drivers for this industry, absolutely. And why is that? Because they want healthy foods that are convenient and quick, right? Healthy foods that are convenient and quick. Now you could make the argument, well, what about Beyond Meat? Well, Beyond Meat, those products take a little bit more time. Don't get me wrong, I love Beyond Meat. I'm super, super bullish on Beyond Meat. I am so happy I'm a shareholder of it. I see a very, very big opportunity for that company. But their products might take a little bit of time to cook. Like obviously burgers, sausage, you can't just like whip those up in seconds. You obviously gotta cook them. They take a little bit of time. It's true, they're not the most convenient thing sometimes when you're in a hurry. But as for Tattooed Chef, it's quick. You can throw some of their products in like the microwave, or you can just pull them right out and eat them. On top of that, and this is something I have not heard a single person, I've watched a lot of analysis on this stock, and no one is thinking about this. This is a big driver that they have on their side, and this is more of the industry as a whole. This is not just specifically Tattooed Chef. Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady. Now, what am I saying here? Why am I saying that? What does Tattooed Chef, what does Beyond Meat, what does anything have to do with Tom Brady? Well, obviously his diet is primarily plant-based meats. He said he's not a vegan by any means, but he said he primarily eats plant-based meats, okay? He says he feels like that helps him feel better. He said it's helped with his longevity. He said it's a huge reason why he can still play at the level he's played at today. Now, you still might be a little confused by this, but think of it this way. I have talked to people who know absolutely nothing about football. Absolutely nothing, but they obviously know the Tom Brady story, they know his diet, and they talk about his diet and they know it very well. That automatically leads to walking advertisement for companies like these. For companies like these, it does. He's already partnered with Purple Carrot. Obviously, I don't see him partnering with Beyond Meat or, Tattooed Chef anytime soon. I just don't see that happening. But still, the longer he's able to play at this level, the more people it's going to bring their attention to. And he's very open about it, and he really does condone this, and he thinks it's a great idea, and he thinks more and more people should get to this. Now, obviously, you can make the argument that other athletes too have done this, and while that is true, obviously they're not going to look at, say, Kyrie Irving, who's also into this type of plant-based meat industry, who really believes in this practice. They're going to look at Tom Brady, who's playing, still winning Super Bowls in his mid-40s, right? They're just going to. But I also think people are going to look at it from perspective like, okay, Tom Brady had this diet, he played until his mid-40s, he played at a high level, he still looks relatively young, he still looks good. So I think it's very possible that because of him, you're going to see the average Joe maybe starting to eat some more plant-based meats, bring that in, maybe put the red meat to the side. I really believe that's going to happen. People that I guess quote unquote want to look younger longer, that want to feel better about themselves, that want to feel in better shape, I think it's very possible that because of Tom Brady, this whole industry gets driven to a whole nother level. I truly believe that. Next, the management team. It's a proven management team. As I mentioned, I really like to see proven management teams in any company I invest in. It doesn't matter if it's tech, it doesn't matter if it's the food industry, it doesn't matter, it could be the semiconductor industry. I really like to see a proven management team. Now, obviously, past success is not an indicator of future results. And yes, I understand that. I'm very aware of that. I understand that completely. But let's look at it this way, right? Say you're going down the field. You need to pick someone to lead your team down the field to score. Are you picking Tom Brady? Or are you picking an unproven rookie? Which one are you going to pick? Which one are you going to pick? I know who I'm taking. Next, the SKUs. They have tons of SKUs. Like I've said, they've really been able to ramp that up. They're projected to have 62 SKUs in 2021. They want to have 200. They want to have 200. So what does that mean? More SKUs means it touches more people, means there's just one for everyone. I love it. I love it. I love it. More products. The more, the merrier, in my personal opinion. As for a couple more things I really like about this company, first of all, they're getting in more stores, right? They're in over 4,000 stores now. By the end of 2021, they're projected to be in 10,000 stores, right? So more than doubling the amount of stores that they're in now. Obviously, more stores, more inventory, more products, more money, more revenue. Very important. Next, they're getting into stores such as 7-Eleven, Kroger, and stores like that. Now, 7-Eleven, I fully believe, can attack a whole new market because not only are they going to have these products, these frozen food products, they also want to get into the markets of like bars and snacks. So getting in that into 7-Eleven can attack an entire new audience, and it can attack those travelers that are on the road driving somewhere and they just stop to get gas and they need some little snack, something to eat, something to munch on. It can really attack that audience. So it's going to attack people that aren't just going to the grocery store to buy things, buy food for the week, whatever the case may be. So I really like that. I think that's important as well. They also have an e-commerce side of the business, which I really like because this just reaches more people. And obviously, with Tattoo Chef being a little bit smaller right now, the fact of the matter is they aren't reaching as many people. Like for example, I've been going around and I've been looking for Tattoo Chef products because as an investor, I think it's very important to try the products and eat the products or use whatever products the case may be. I guess you're not always eating the products if you're invested in Facebook or whatever the case may be, but it's very important to try out the products of companies you're invested in because if you don't like the products, if you're not a fan of them, why would you hope that stock goes up and why would you recommend that product to someone else? It's very important to think about. So if you're a new investor out there, always try the products that you're invested in. Always try. So, but anyway, bottom line here in Rhode Island, I cannot find these products. So now that they have the e-commerce side of their business, I can go on the website and I can order their products and then I can try them out for myself. And if I like them, which obviously I really did, I can continue to invest in the company because I'll see long-term potentials in this company. But if they didn't have this e-commerce side of the business, I obviously couldn't get the products unless I'd be willing to go to wherever they are, which might not be the most convenient thing in the world. And trust me, it's not. So that really helps me out as an investor and that builds more confidence for me. Also, this is more convenient because what do we know about millennials? They like convenience. So obviously, if that can show up at their door, much easier than going to the grocery store and finding it. Much easier. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the insane growth with no marketing. I absolutely love this. In my opinion, this just helps back the management team. I think that's phenomenal. I really believe in Sam Galletti after seeing this, after seeing such insane revenue growth with really no marketing at all. I can only imagine what's going to happen once they get that marketing campaign or those marketing campaigns up and running. And the last thing I like about this company, which I haven't even put on the board or anything, but they haven't expanded into international waters yet. So on top of all these things they've done and they're planning on doing, they also plan on getting into international markets. And Sam Galletti said he sees a really big opportunity in European markets. Now moving on, we're going to talk about some of the risks I see with this company because whatever you do with your money, there's going to be some sort of risk involved. Now honestly guys, out of all the stock analysis I've done, obviously there's going to be risk with this company, but there's minimal risk, it seems like. I don't even know how to describe it. Like I was going through the 10K and through the 10Q, and all the risk factors they had in there, it wasn't like truly legitimate risk where I was like, all right, so that could lead to this could lead to that, and that could lead to this, like I normally do when I read through these documents. This actually has a lot of upside. It seems like minimal downside. I'm very hesitant to say that, but I truly believe this might actually have minimal downside. First one I don't have written on here is this is a newer company, okay? So obviously being a newer company in this industry, there's gonna be some risk that comes with that. So with that, it means what if this management team does not execute? You know, what if sometimes Brady throws a pick in the fourth quarter? That's the bottom line. Sometimes he doesn't come through, okay? So what if they fall behind? What if they stop putting out more SKUs and they stop putting out more products? Obviously, that's not gonna be well, and then maybe the competition can catch up. But, and here's how I think of it. If you had to pick an industry to do this in, it's this one. It's this industry. Think about all those people that still buy like Coca-Cola, like just the very plain branded Coca-Cola. Tons of people do. Tons. So once you get this brand built, once you get to a certain point, it basically runs itself on autopilot because you already have the habits built, you already have the brand built, and everyone knows about it. It happens time and time again. It's happened, you know, Chips Ahoy, when was the last time they came out with anything, all right? I think actually Jeremy said that in his video, but when was the last time Chips Ahoy came out with anything really new? But people still go out and buy them all the time. People do. Secondly, competition. Now, as I mentioned before, they don't have a ton of direct competition right now because a lot of their competition isn't really focused on this frozen food market share space. But what if, let's say Beyond Meat, for example, starts to expand into this space. Say they get that market share they're working on right now, they get that size built to that point they want it at, and they start to expand, okay? What happens then? What happens then? It's a legit risk you have to take in consideration. Now, to wrap this video up, just some final thoughts here. First off, let me start off by saying I feel like maybe not this specific stock, because I'm not recommending you guys buy this stock or anything, because I'm no sort of financial advisor. I'm just a random person on the internet. But I feel like stocks like this, they're very good for beginners. And I feel like that because it's easy to calculate, I guess, their projected revenue. So you can say, all right, they have this many SKUs coming in, they're gonna sell this many of them next year, and they have this profit margin, and that means this, so that means they should do this in revenue this year. It's very easy to do that in the food industry, as opposed to maybe the semiconductor industry or anything like that. It might be a little more difficult. So that's the first thought. So I would recommend to a newer investor out there, I would recommend focusing on the food industry because I feel like it's just easier to grasp and easier to understand, rather than, like I just said, the semiconductor industry. But anyway, guys, I'm really bullish on this company. I really like this company a lot. I could see this company going very, very far. I really have a great vision for this company. I see the vision that this management team is trying to put together, and I'm honestly just excited for it, and I'm excited to see where this company's gonna go over the next 5 or 10 years. So saying that, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you do get some value out of this, please drop a like on the video. That really does help me out in a massive way. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Tattooed Chef, if you're buying it, where you think it can go, what the revenue numbers might be over the next few years. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.